The inspiration for the Tron chair really started with the collision between the digital world and the physical world. What I really wanted to try is to see, in this world that we live in right now, how the digital is influencing the analog. And in the way that I usually work, I always mix. We always go back from the computer to the workshop, from the workshop back to the computer. And I really want to emphasize that in one product that is all about that. It's all about the exchange between sculpting by hand and sculpting with the computer as a tool. So we've mixed two different forms and collide them and then translate them from the computer. We printed the chair and then brought it back, sculpted, scanned it, and then back. So it was kind of a few back and forth. And the concept is pretty much just like the original idea of the Tron movie, so it just had a really perfect fit. So from the idea to the final product, we had a lot of, again, back and forth from the computer to execution by hand. The final model was actually CNC'd out of foam and then molded, and the result was actually a molded shape. So that process was actually relatively short, but going back and forth between fine-tuning the forms and the proportion and the ratios and stuff was really the more sculpture part, which was done again partially by hand and partially on the computer. For me, Capellini, working with Capellini is pretty much the exact balance of art and industry, which I find pretty much the way that I work on almost every project. First, I need to care about it personally. I need to fall in love with it. I need to really feel that I have a certain point where the concept and the intellectual part of the design fit to me and to how I would like to execute things. And then comes the industry question, is like, okay, how much it's gonna cost, how we're gonna manufacture it, how to commercialize it, and so forth. And I think that the interesting thing is with specifically working with Giulio is that those questions always come later on. Those questions really does not affect the immediate reaction. The immediate reaction is always very pure, is always very much about the, how you feel about the product, how you feel about the concept, where it came from, how you worked on it. And I think it's also, a lot of companies today, they think about tomorrow and how to commercialize it. With Capellini, the idea of creating an icon that lives longer, that lives for many years, has always been the case. It's always been like, yes, it needs to fit the moment, but it also needs to live for a long time. So the whole idea of commercializing it is not the first thing you have to answer. It comes a little bit later on, which I like.